That's right. Jason never died in the lake. No, he's not a zombie. That hasn't happened yet. What happened to Paul? I don't know. Maybe Jason tossed him in the lake. Oh, what happened to Jason? Well, on that day, on Saturday the 14th, Friday the 13th, Part 3, was released on August 13th, 1982. Filmed on a budget of $2.2 million, it earned $36.2 million back at the box office. The original plot followed Ginny after Part 2 in a mental hospital, but it was dropped after Amy Steele declined to come back. So we're going back to the lake, baby. The main gimmick this time around was the film was in 3D. Apparently the 3D cameras were hell to work with and took several takes to get the effects right. Also, this is where everybody's favorite mama's boy gets his signature look. Everybody wants to claim they came up with the hockey mask, and I can't blame them. It just works. Whenever you see this type of mask, you don't think of hockey. You think about Jason. You think about Friday the 13th. You think about all the blood, the kills, the sex and nudity, the strangulations, the throat slitting, and all that juicy good stuff. I mean, heck, you go to any grocery or a pharmacy store during Halloween time, the most generic mask they're gonna sell is just a white hockey mask. Because, and that may not be a Jason mask, but you see a hockey mask and you think of Jason, you know what I mean? You think of Jason. The film picks up immediately after Part 2, so Saturday the 14th. After Jason kills a couple in their store, we then meet our new cast of soon-to-be corpses. Chris, Rick, Debbie, Andy, Vera, Chuck, Jay, and Shelly, and a trio of bikers. They just kind of come out of nowhere, but they're awesome, they're fun. Besides Chris, Shelly is the only one with some personality. He's shy and insecure and uses jokes and pranks to cover them up. When Vera rejects him, he calls her a bitch, but can be kind of cool when dealing with the bikers. His pranks make him a dick, but I don't know, the actors plays him so sincerely. You can't help but, at least I can help to feel a little bit sorry for him. Just a nice bit of confidence could have made him a better person. I just wish they did something better with him. I mean, he's the reason Jason got his mask, but I don't know. At least give him a chance to try to redeem himself before he gets killed, or at least give him like an iconic death sequence. His death is just, I don't know, he just appears for a moment and then when he comes back his throat is slit and he just fumbles to the floor next to a character that nobody cares about. I do have to say though, the new change of location, Higgins Haven, is a nice change of location. I mean, it's not summer camp. There's no weird there's no cabins around. It's a nice difference. And the barn is a great little hideaway for Jason. It becomes his main base basically throughout the whole movie. You just get a little glimpse of him going in and out of the barn. What's Jason doing there? That's where he's putting all the bodies. As for the kills, once again, they're all great. Like, not all great. Some are a little bit some kind of disappear. Like there's some off-screen kills that are not that good. I think probably Vera and Andy get the best kills. I mean, Vera, she's the first one to die with the mask Jason. and the effect they have with what's the word I'm looking for? The effect they have when the harpoon shoots into her eyes. I just love it. In the effect where she falls to the ground or falls into the lake. Like, they really do sell the tension. Because she's going to the lake, she's trying to pick up Shelly's wallet, and then she sees someone coming, and we see Jason for the first time, and it takes her a minute to realize, hey, that's not Shelly. Who are you? Wait, what's going on? Why are you pointing that at me? Then, and I love the look it does when it goes right into the camera. I didn't watch it in 3D, most because I kind of forgot to. But I imagine that's probably one of the better 3D effects in the film. And Andy, God damn you, Andy. God damn you. Andy's death is, well, he's a little jokester, likes to do handstands all the time. And what Jason gives him a good axe down the groin. I can stand deaths that really focus on the groin area. I don't know why. It just makes me cringe very deeply. The other kills are a bit of a mixed bag. I love Rick where Jason squeezes his head so hard the eyeball pops out. I mean, it's a good scene. The tension is great, but it's just the actual effect of the eyeball popping out, and you can clearly see the string. Chris gets this odd backstory. Now, to be fair, this was Jason. This was when Jason was still kind of new, and the creators were figuring out what to make of him. So,
this hideous looking man. He was so grotesque, he was almost inhuman. He had a knife, and he attacked me with it. I was so hysterical, I don't know how I was even able to think, but I kicked the knife out of his hands and I ran. But he ran after me and he caught me and he pulled me down to the ground. I was kicking and screaming and yelling, but it didn't do any good. He dragged me along the ground. I blacked out. I don't know what happened after that. I just don't know.
Technically, this isn't really out of character for him yet. But, I don't know, making Jason a sexual predator doesn't feel right for this character. He isn't Freddy. So I'm glad that they didn't fully commit with it. They kind of just like, maybe something happened, but it probably didn't. For negatives, I guess like only real negatives I have for this movie is it's just like the last two. you get group of youngsters. They're going out to the lake. They're mostly to have fun. Well, I guess this is the big difference. In this movie, they're strictly there to relax and have fun. While in part 1, they're there to fulfill a job. But then again, you really couldn't tell. You couldn't really tell. We got a strange guy getting fortune, but this one has a man with an eyeball. It kind of looks like a weird little wet rag.
Hi guys, Anya here. I forgot to actually record this for the original video, so I'm doing this on my phone because my microphone's broken, so sorry about the different audio. But yeah, I forgot to mention my first 2 reviews about the character Crazy Ralph and the legend of Jason. Yeah, there is a bit of an urban legend factor. That was drier. There is a bit of urban legend factor in the first 2 films. With the truck driver and Crazy Ralph talking about the fires, the lake poisonings and all of that. The boy who drowned. And then part 2, we got Ginny talking about Jason, got the cop talking about everything that happened the previous years. And of course Paul around the campfire telling them the story of Jason. So there is like a urban legend element in the first 2 films. It's not very played up, at least I didn't really have like a bit impact on my experience in watching it. But it is there. And it feels kind of a little odd, a little different that it's not in this version. It's almost because when you take away the connections from the first movie, this can really just be its own thing. And it doesn't even have to be Jason. And I'm not sure that's a good thing or a bad thing. And for the crazy old man with the eyeball in his hands in this film, which is a weird, poor way to recreate the crazy Ralph character. Because that actor just had so much crazy charisma. He was, you're like, I don't know what to think about you, but I want to keep my eyes on you. I want to keep my eyes on you. And also, Crazy Ralph, I'm not sure if this is my fan theory or something I read once upon a time, but Crazy Ralph, he's a part of the town. He knows things. Like, he probably knows who Jason is. He probably knew Jason before he drowned. Probably was friends with Pamela. Crazy Ralph, he doesn't really have much to do, but he is kind of a character. This old guy it's just nobody. He's just in the road with a eyeball, cause I want to warn you. For some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's the curse of the lake. Whenever some horrible thing happens, someone just has to warn them. Maybe it's part of the lake and it's magic. Or maybe it's just bad writing. Who knows?
I will probably say that this one is a little more, I don't want to use the word boring, but boring compared to the other two. Because besides Chris and Shelley, none of the characters really stand out. At least not to me. They just felt stock, generic, got them off the shelf. At least in part 2, and even part 1 to an extent, the actors were able to bring a lot more character than I guess what was in the script. Here they didn't really stick this time around. Nothing really attracted me, made me pay attention to the screen. When Jason or the bikers weren't there, my eyes began to wander a bit. I think the movie would be more awesome if they just focus on the bikers. I'm not sure why Jason would go after them, but it'd be kind of cool if they were the main characters instead. They actually had some interesting dynamics. They were kind of cool, and heck, they're bikers. They probably might pose an actual threat to Jason till Jason just gets him off guard. But it wouldn't be a Friday the 13th film if there wasn't a final chase scene. And while Chris isn't as cool as Ginny, but she gets a few licks in at Jason. I'm sure why this part here is probably one of my favorite sequences in all the movies. I just love the scene so much. Richard Brooker is Jason this time. Part 2 Jason was like a giant man-child mountain person. This Jason is a much more bulkier. He has this much more intimidating build that most of the actors would carry throughout the rest of the franchise. And also this Jason has quite a sadistic nature to him that he doesn't have in part 2. I mean, besides the part with when he kills Vera, this Jason seems to take a lot of pleasure trying to hurt Chris. The face he makes when he shows her his face to show her that he was the man who attacked her last year, that is just very haunting. It's like one of the only few times in the entire franchise we see Jason taking direct delight in hurting his prey. Chris is the one who gives Jason his iconic X mark on the mask. That was stayed for most of the franchise. And Jason dies. He's dead. Seeing that this is an early film in the series, you know what time it is. Nightmare scene. Nightmare time. Nightmare scene. Which one sounds better? Nightmare scene? Nightmare time? I know. Put down in the comments. Maybe I'll have time to fix in other videos. Chris hops into a boat and lands back at her house. What the? Then there's this shot of maskless Jason clawing at the window to get to Chris is so freaky. Like, he looks like a complete monster, an animal. And then him just disappearing just adds to confusion. It's so, I don't know, it's like very creepy. It has that good nightmare sense because you don't know what's happening. It just feels, there's no word to describe it to me at the current moment. Especially when he just breaks through the door and then she turns back the door, it's just back to normal. Like he never busted through. It's such a great confusing scene. And a part of me would kind of like it. The film just ended right there. But then they ruin it with this. They ruin it with this. This makes no sense. Chris never met Mrs. Voorhees, and she doesn't even know this is even Jason. But I guess get redeemed by the very end, with Chris broken mentally and carried away by the police. Also, before we end the video, I forgot to mention the theme. The new theme that's only for this movie, the funky theme. Play it. Yes, this theme is just fan-freaking-tastic. I love it. I could listen to this one for hours. But yeah, Friday the 13th Part 3, 3D, is very similar to the first two, and it's basically what you get. The first few movies in this franchise are very rinse and repeat, with new things added in here and there to spice things up a little bit. In this one, we don't really get a whodunit like 1 and 2. We already know it's Jason. We already know Jason is here. We just got to wait till he decides to show us his lovely, lovely face that only a mother can love. The opening of the film is just freaking funny, because we open up with these two random shop owners who contribute nothing to the plot. They're just there for Jason to get the kill. And then the husband is, I mean, I understand having your pig out moments, but this man eats fish food. He takes donuts out of the box he's going to sell to customers and eats some. He takes a swig of orange juice and then puts it right back on the shelf to sell to people. I don't get it. I don't get it. The 3D effects in here are okay. They're okay. They're nothing special. It's the classic 3D gimmicks where it's like, oh, it's in the camera. Look, you're pointing into your face. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's fun. It's nothing special, but it has a little weird old charm to it. Especially the scene where they're just juggling just to juggle for the 3D effects. But yeah, the only real negative for this film is it's just more of the same, and it goes back a little bit because, like I said, the characters in this one aren't that just compelling. They're not as fun as everyone from part 2. But this is still only part 3 of the franchise. Jason is still stumbling into becoming the icon we know and love him as today. But sadly, the next movie is the final chapter. It's the final chapter. I'm being serious, look it up. The movie is called Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter. It's the last movie. None of the movies were made after that. I'm sorry, it's a weird, abrupt ending, but no more Friday the 13th. No more after next video. It's all done. It's all over with. All over with. want to watch something else. Maybe something with the nightmare involved.